Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Game Four of the American League, the World Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees here at Yankee Stadium. As we have Tommy John against Ed Figueroa, a rematch of the Game One starters. Of course, the Dodgers won Game Three in extra innings yesterday, so Yankees trying to even that series before we go to Game 5 tomorrow night. Game 5 will be tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. It'll be Jim Beattie for the Yankees against Bert Hooton of the Dodgers. That will be the Game 5 matchup tomorrow night. And then if there is a Game 6, it'll be back in L.A., but that'll be on Tuesday night because Monday will be a travel day as they fly across country to L.A. So no game on Monday night in the series. It's a travel day. Game 6 will be Tuesday, and if necessary, Game 7 will be on Wednesday. But right now, we're at Game 4. We're looking at Yankee Stadium. It is a night game. It's a day game. Game 4 was a day game. So it's day game, October, 51 degrees. So 54, as long as you're above 54, you're okay. So as long as these three dice total at least 4, they'll be all right. And they do plenty. That's 16. So it's actually going to be a 67-degree day, which is no effect at all on the stadium. All right, there are your starting lineups for both teams. Paul Blair is in center field. Mickey Rivers given off against the lefty Tommy John. Rick Mundy back as the DH with the right-hander on the mound, Ed Figueroa. So we are set to go here from Yankee Stadium. Hello, Ernest. Good to see you. So Game 4, Dodgers lead it 2-1. And must-win game for the Yankees. They do not want to fall behind 3-1. They want to even the series, and then Game 5 will be a little more bearable if you go in there 2-2 down versus down 3-1. So here's the first, but 596 right off the bat. We're checking Bucky Dent at short for defense, and the blue 6, 596 is going to be. It's 596 right field, or what am I doing? It's not shortstop, it's right field. Right field is Piniella. So let's look at Piniella. 596. He's actually rated for left field. So we have to go to our ratings-based defense card for his fielding chance. In right field, his arm and his range are a 5. The 6 are above that. So we come here to the outfield. The blue die is above his range. So we skip all this. We come down here. The blue die is above his range, but the blue die is below a 7. So that means it's a double. So a double, and the arm is a 5. The arm is a 5. So 5 arm, a double. Runner on first could try to challenge, but nobody's on first. So it'll be simply a double, leadoff double for Davey Lopes, as Piniella unable to get to that. And a leadoff double by the Dodgers to start the ball game, as they turn on that Ed Figueroa pitch right away. That'll bring up Bill Russell. That's a 244, right-handed Bill Russell. 244 is a redirect to a 574. 574 is the left fielder, and that left fielder happens to be Roy White. So a 574 is an F7++. So the plus means that the runner on second will tag up and go to third on that play. That deep fly to left is going to allow Lopes to tag up and go to third, which is big because now he gets at third base with less than 2 outs, and the infield for the Yankees is going to come in. They do not want to give up a cheap run if they can avoid it. Lopes will be going off contact. 159. That's going to be a walk. So Reggie Smith will draw the base on balls. It does set up a double play for Steve Garvey to be up there, but a ground ball double play would get them out of the inning. And now the Yankees are back for that double play. 335, and that's a non-split. 335 is an infield single for Garvey, so it didn't matter how they were playing. Garvey gets an infield single, and the Dodgers will take a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. Ed Figueroa having some issues in the first inning. So an infield single for Garvey. Here's Ron Say. 264 for Say against a right-hander. 264 against a lefty would be a deep drive to center. But here it's just going to be a fly ball to right field. It's not deep enough to move up the runners. They are now 2 away. And that will bring up Dusty Baker. That's a 157, and a 157 is a single plus to right field. So the plus means a runner on second will score. So Smith will score. It's 2-0 Dodgers. It is to right field. Garvey could challenge Lou Pinella's arm, but Garvey only runs at a 3, so they're going to hold him at second base. He's already in scoring position with 2 outs, so there's no sense in making the last out at third base. It is 2-0 Dodgers. Here's Rick Monday. It's a 235 from Monday, and that is a fly ball to right field against a righty that had been a single, but against a lefty. Kind of a reverse split there for Figueroa. And that will end the inning, but the Dodgers get 2 runs in the top of the first and hand that lead to Tommy John. 2-run lead given to Tommy John. And I know this is not a prime time to be playing because college football and whatnot, but I don't care. I got to play when I can play. I play to my schedule, and everybody can watch it on the rerun if they don't want to catch it live. That's fine. All right, here's Tommy John to Blair, 211. And against a right-hander, 211 is a 4-3 ground out, 1 away. Roy White, the batter. Like I said, Ernest, I mean, if you don't catch it live, it's there on demand, so it's no big deal. 324. Most people watch this, catch it after the fact anyway. Very few watch it live compared to the actual. If 100 people watch it, maybe 20 watch it live. The other 80 are watching it on demand, so it really doesn't matter. I could do this at 3 in the morning. It wouldn't matter. 324, and that's going to be a fly ball to left field. I could actually even just record it and not even do it live, and it still wouldn't matter because you can watch it whenever. All right, here's Thurman Munson, 390. And 390 is going to be a single to left field. So a single to left brings up Reggie Jackson. He has a chance to tie the game if he gets a long ball. 321, though, is going to be a strikeout for Reggie. He's got a big strikeout sequence there, 300 to 378. And that's the first strikeout for Reggie. Of course, this is the infamous game where Reggie got hit in the hip on the base paths and caused all sorts of controversy, which is why I tried to use that as a thumbnail, even though the picture wasn't the best. It's the best one I could find to signify that's what happened in this game. All right, so Bill North will lead things off. Center fielder, and that's a 319, and that's going to be a strikeout for Bill North. First strikeout for Figueroa. 2 down for Yeager. Jägermeister, 166 non-split, and that's a walk. That is the second walk issued by Figueroa. And that'll bring up Davey Lopes. 670 going to the ballpark card. 670 is going to be a 1-3 ground out. So the runner will advance to second. But now there are 2 outs. But Yeager does take second base. And it's up to Bill Russell to bring him home. 318. That's an infield single. It won't bring him home, but it will extend the inning. Infield single. And that puts runners at the corners with 2 outs for Reggie Smith, the other Reggie. 340. And that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Figueroa. And we played 1.5. Still 2-0 Dodgers. Tommy John is up to face Lou Piniella. Whoops, this way. Lou Piniella, Greg Nettles, and Chris Chambliss. Whoa, we got hop and dice, so we're going to re-roll that. House rule, all 3 dice have to be in the tray. 527, that's bad news for the catcher, Yeager. That blue 7 is probably going to be a walk or something like that. Let's see. 527, it is going to be a walk. So Yeager unable to frame that, and Tommy John will issue the first walk of the game for him to Lou Piniella. And that'll bring up Greg Nettles, third baseman. 217 against the lefty. That's a 1-6-3 double play. And that's a way to kill momentum right there, is that double play. 2 quick outs. Bases are empty now for Chris Chambliss. That's a 299. And for Chris Chambliss, that is a deep drive to right field. Chambliss's power is a 4. Go to the deep drive to right field. I'm going to add these 2 dice to the 4. If he gets a 12 or higher on these 2 dice, that's going to be gone. He does not. He gets a 2. So that's a total of 6. It's still going to be a bloop single. So we'll get a bloop single out of it. But it could have been a lot more. Hello, Bart. Good to see you. Here comes the Chicken Man, Fred Stanley. 484 against the lefty John. 484 is a fly ball to center field. And that's going to end the inning. So at the end of 2 complete, it's Dodgers 2 and Yankees nothing. Dodgers lead the series 2 games to 1. So pretty much almost a must-win game for the Yankees to avoid that dreaded 3-1 deficit. Here's Garvey. He singled his first time up. See what he does this time. 130. And 130 is a fly ball to center field. Hauled in by Paul Blair. 1 away. Penguin, Ron Say. 534. We're looking at Chris Chambliss. And that blue 4 shouldn't be a problem for Chambliss, I wouldn't think. 534 is going to be a 3 unassisted ground out. So no problems there for Chambliss. 2 down. For Dusty Baker. I believe his nickname was a lizard. I don't know where it came from, but it seems like I've heard that before. 329 is an infield single for Dusty Baker. And it seems like on these cars, that infield single for whoever the batter is comes up an awful lot. It just seems to come up a lot, infield single. Don't know why, it just seems to do that. Here's Rick Monday. 205, and that's going to be a redirect to a 405. And a 405 is going to be a base on balls. So Monday will draw the walk. 3rd walk issued by Figueroa. 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. And here's Bill North. 374 for North. Non-split is a 1-6 ground out. We'll just call it 1-3, since that's the 3rd out of the inning. They would throw to first base. That would be pretty standard. And that's going to do it for the Dodgers. They'll leave 2 on, but won't score anymore. Still 2-0 New York as we go. 2-0 Los Angeles, rather, as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. And Bucky Dent will lead off for the Yankees. Dent. 128. It's going to be a redirect to a 328. And 328 is going to be a 6-3 ground out. So Dent is out of there. 1 away for Paul Blair. 246 for Blair, right-handed. 246 is a 5-3 ground out. So Ron Say will throw over. 2 down for Roy White. 620, home team's batting, so it's 630, but it's still not going to help. That's a pop out to short. And that will end the inning. 3 up and 3 down. Tommy John rolling here with a 2-0 lead through 3 innings. Ed Figueroa will be facing Steve Yeager, Davey Lopes, and Bill Russell. Numbers 9, 1, and 2 in the Dodger order. Yeager walked his first time. 607. He won't do anything this time on that ballpark with a 607. That's going to be a strikeout. So strikeout for Figueroa, and that is strikeout number 3 to go with his 3 walks. And here's Davey Lopes. 632. Back to the ballpark. 632 is a fly out to center field, rather. 2 down for Bill Russell. So this one, a little bit of a slow starter. Not exciting in his last night's game, that's for sure. Or yesterday afternoon's game, I should say. 164, and that's going to be a walk. So that's the 4th walk issued by Figueroa. And it will bring up Reggie Smith. 273. Smith is a switch hitter batting left-handed. So 273 is a deep drive to right field, and Reggie Smith's power is a 9. This could be trouble. Deep drive to right and a 9. If these two dice total 7 or higher, it's going to be gone. And that's a 13, and he's already a 9. That's a 22, and that is gone. Boy, 21 he had a deep fly, but 22 is gone. That's a 2-run home run for Reggie Smith as he blasts that one, and the Dodgers jump out to a 4-0 lead on Ed Figueroa. 4-0 lead. Here's Garvey. 696 for Garvey. So that's going to be a base on balls. So that is going to be walk number, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Walk number 5 issued by Figueroa. He has not been sharp at all. Here's Ron Say. 606, going back to the ballpark card again. 606, and that's going to be a strikeout to end the inning. Strikeout number 4. But the 2-run home run off the bat of Reggie Smith, and the Dodgers lead it 4-0. And now it's starting to get to be critical time for the Yankees as the innings start to disappear. Less and less chance to catch up. But they have the offense that can do it. Just have to get it done. So here is Thurman Munson, 674. Home team batting 684. And a 684 is going to be a single. So a base hit for Thurman. He's 2 for 2. And that brings up Hot Dog Jackson. 499 for Reggie, but against the lefty John, it's a strikeout. Would have been a deep drive to a righty, but to a lefty, he will strike out for the second time. John has 2 strikes out. Both of them have been Reggie. There's one away for Lou Piniella. 132, and that's going to be a redirect to a 332. 332 is a 6-4 fielder's choice. That will erase Munson at second. Piniella, the new runner, at first, but now there are 2 away for Greg Nettles. 214, Nettles is a lefty. 214 would be a double play, but in this case, just a 1-3 ground out to end the inning. And Tommy John is just cruising along through 4 innings with now a 4-0 lead. And Figueroa looking for answers. Here's Dusty Baker. He's 2 for 2. 361, and 361 is a pop-up to first. Chambliss is there. 1 down for Rick Monday. 441 against a right-hander. 441 is a strikeout. 5th strikeout for Figueroa to go with his 5 walks. Here's Bill North. 423. 423 is going to be another walk. That's the 6th walk issued by Figueroa. In 5 innings, he's walked 6 and struck out 5. And that'll bring up Yeager. 180. 180 is going to be a bloop single, and with 2 outs, that means a 2-base advancement automatically. So North goes to third. 2 outs and runners on the corners for Davey Lopes. Hello, Jimmy Jam. Good to see you. So Lopes is the batter. 473, and that's going to be a double for Davey Lopes. A double. Scoring is North. Yeager goes to third. It's now 5-0. Favor the Dodgers, and Ed Figueroa is on his last leg right now. 232. It's going to be a ground ball to third, and that will end the inning. But I think that's going to be it for Figueroa. He is done. 5 runs in 5 innings. And Bob Lemon has seen enough. And he also walked 6, struck out 5. Gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. So 8 hits and 6 walks, 14 base runners in 5 innings. That's way too much activity on the base paths, and that's going to do it for them. And the Yankees will go to a relief pitcher. And they will go to Ken Clay. Ken Clay will be on to pitch the 6th inning. But the way Tommy John is pitching, it may not matter because Tommy John's just not giving up anything. 5 runs might as well be 20. Here's Chambliss. 205, and that is going to be a walk, though. Lefty on lefty, he walks him. So, second walk of the game issued by Tommy John. And here's the Chicken Man, Fred Stanley. 173. That's a bloop single, so the Yankees got a couple of hits. But with less than 2 outs, a bloop single, only a one-base advancement because the runner on first doesn't know if the ball's going to be caught or not, so he has to hold. All right, here is Bucky Dent, 131, and that's a redirect to a 331. And a 331 is a 6-4 fielder's choice. So they retire Stanley at second. Chambliss will go to third. Runners on the corners, 1 out for Paul Blair. Yankees have to get on the board this inning. Infield for the Dodgers back for the double play. 583, and then we're looking at the center fielder, Bill North. And a 583 is a fly to center with a run on third having to challenge. That question mark exclamation point means he has to challenge. So we will have a challenge play. North is a 3-arm. Chambliss, speed of 3. So they're equal. They're equal on the arm and the speed. So it all comes down to the challenge play. So basically, these 3 dice have to total 10 or higher for him to be safe because the arm and the speed are exactly the same. And they do, so he's going to make it. So sacrifice fly off the bat of Paul Blair will score Chambliss, and the Yankees finally get on the board. Cut the lead to 5-1. Still at first base is Dent with 2 outs. Jimmy, I'm not sure what the rules say on that. I generally, in my homebrew rule, is if you don't get the jump the first time, then you don't get the jump at all the whole time there. It's like, as long as you're still at that base, you don't get that jump. That's just my personal rule, but I'm sure that, you can make a house rule the other way around to do it every at bat. But generally speaking, for me, once they don't get it, I don't try again. I just feel like he couldn't get the lead, and he's kind of stationary, stuck there. All right, so here is, hello, Thomas, good to see you. Here's Roy White. That's a 569. That's trouble for Bill Russell with that blue 9. That should be a base hit or possibly an error on Russell, and it will be an error on Russell. E6, 1 base error, E6 on Russell. Dent goes to second base. So runners at first and second now, 2 outs, 1 run in, but the Dodgers still lead at 5-1. But Thurman Munson, if he gets a deep drive here on his against the lefty, he could really make things interesting. 486, he came up just short. 486 is a deep fly to center, and that will end the inning. Yankees do get a run, but that's all they get. And at the end of 5, it is the Dodgers 5 and the Yankees 1. And new pitcher for the Yankees will be Ken Clay. He was 3-4 with a 4.28 ERA in 1978. Did start 6 games, relieved in 22 of them. Lefties did get him for a 340 average. Righties only 245. He's going to be facing 1 lefty and Reggie Smith, and then a whole bunch of righties. So 213, and a 213 is a walk against the lefty. Would have been a strikeout to the righty, but he's a switch. So right here, yet another walk. And that brings up Garvey. 461 against the righty. That's going to be a double to left field. Double to left for Garvey. Smith with nobody out, they're not going to challenge. They're up 5-1. They're not going to challenge. With nobody out, they want to keep the train going. Here's Ron Say. The Yankee infield has to come in. 494. Smith is not going on contact. 494 against a right-hander is a strikeout for Ron Say. So Ken Clay gets that strikeout. 1 away, and here's Dusty Baker. Situation's the same. Infield is in. Smith not going on contact. 168. It's not going to matter. It's a bloop single. That'll be a base hit. Make it 6-1 Dodgers. And with less than 2 outs on a bloop single, Garvey has to stop at third base. But now it's 6-1 Dodgers. Now the infield back for the double play. Rick Monday, 178, and that's another bloop single. Makes it 7-1. Baker will go to second and stop. 7-1 Dodgers. This is getting out of hand. Bill North. 603 for North will be a 4-6-3 double play, and that will end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Dodgers, and they now lead it 7-1. And I think they've seen enough of Ken Clay to have the Yankees. So he will depart, as he couldn't get the job done, giving up 2 runs. Also gave up 3 hits and a walk. Really pretty fortunate he got out of there with just the 2 runs, walk and a strikeout. I have no idea who's going to pitch the 7th. We'll figure it out later. All right, TJ now has a 7-1 lead to protect. He's going to face Reggie Jackson, who he struck out twice. Hot Dog Jackson. 451 for Hot Dog. And that's going to be another strikeout against the lefty. Would have got a single against a righty, but against the lefty, he strikes out. So the hat trick for Reggie. And here's Lou Piniella. 426 against the lefty. 426 is a 6-3 ground out. So TJ has that ground ball working. And that'll bring up Nettles. 192. That's a bloop double for Greg Nettles. 2-out bloop double for Chambliss. 164. And that's a wild pitch. And that'll get Nettles to third base on the wild pitch. Oops, Chambliss still at bat. Runner at third, 2 out. 653. Home team's batting 663. But it's going to be a 3-1 put out as Garvey will flip to John covering, and the inning is over. So 6 innings are in the books here at Yankee Stadium, and it's not going well for the home team as Dodgers are in control 7-1. And now let's see who's coming up for the Dodgers. It's going to be Yeager, Lopes, and Russell, all right-handed hitters. So they will go to right-hander Dick Tidrow out of the bullpen. Dick Tidrow. He is on to face Steve Yeager. 489 for Yeager against a right-hander. 489 is a fly to center. That's 1 away. And that will send up Lopes. He's doubled twice. 196, and that's going to be another double. He's got 3 doubles in this game, does Davey Lopes. 3 for 5 with 3 doubles. Dodgers have the hitting shoes on terribly. Russell, 346. Is going to be a pop-up to first. That's 2 down. And Reggie Smith, who's walked twice and homered. Oh, what did I have Ron say? It should be Reggie Smith, not Ron say. They're out of order here. Where did Reggie Smith go? He got buried back here for some reason or another. I don't know how they got out of order here. It should be Reggie Smith. It's a 577. That's bad news for Piniella because once again, I'm sorry, not Piniella, for Roy White, because once again, that blue 7 is going to be a problem. Blue 7, that's a double plus. So that, well, he's already on second anyway, so he's going to score to make it 8-1. Reggie Smith now with a double. And it says here the batter could challenge, but at this point there's really no need to challenge on that. It's already 8-1. I don't see any reason to challenge. So here's Garvey. 2 outs and a run in. 5-15. Tidrow on a 5-15. Not very good. It's going to be a single to center field. Now, does Reggie Smith want to try to come around and score? Paul Blair's arm in center is a 6. It's pretty good. So they're going to hold Reggie Smith there. And they will have Ron Say come up. 439, and that's going to be a 1-3 ground out to end the inning. But a run scores for the Dodgers, and they now lead it comfortably 8-1 as we go to the 7th inning stretch. And TJ, this will be his fatigue inning beginning because his fatigue was a 6, and that starts in the 7th, so we'll keep an eye on him for fatigue. It'll be Fred Stanley, Bucky Dent, and Paul Blair, the batter. The Chicken Man, Fred Stanley, 343, and that's going to be a strikeout for Stanley. One away for Bucky Dent. 692, but the home team's batting, so it's a 7-0-2, and that's going to be a walk. So a walk to Bucky Dent. We'll send up Paul Blair. 477 against the lefty, and that's a fly ball to center. 2 down for Roy White. 488 for White against the lefty. 488 is a strikeout. Against a righty, it would have been a deep drive, but against a lefty, it is a strikeout for Tommy John. That is his 5th strikeout. And that's going to do it for the Yankees here in the 7th. As Tommy John has been pretty much on spot. 8-1 ball game, top of the 8th. Dodgers may go to the bullpen just to give their other guys some work. Rick Rhoden hasn't pitched in a long time, so they're going to cap Tommy John at 7 innings and bring in Rick Rhoden to mop up the 8th and 9th innings. So Tommy John is going to give up 1 run, which was earned. He gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. He walks 2, 3. He walked 3, and he struck out 5. And, of course, he's in line to get the win. So Rick Rhoden will come in and pitch the remainder of the game for the Dodgers, unless he just falls apart and needs relief. Otherwise, the plan is to let him pitch the 8th and 9th and finish the ball game. So Dusty Baker will be your batter against Tidrow. Tidrow's 2nd inning of work. That's a 284. And against a right-hander Baker, 284 is a deep drive to left. Baker's a 4 power rating. Adding 4 to these 2 numbers, we get a 14 or higher, it's a home run. We get a 15, that's gone. 15 plus the 4 power is a 19, and 19 is a home run. So Dusty Baker cracks a home run, and he gets in on the festivities for the Dodgers, and they are just embarrassing the Yankees right now. Yankees hearing boo birds, and they're throwing Reggie bars back on the field. It is now 9-1. Here's Rick Monday. It doesn't matter what pitcher they have, they're all getting blasted. 105, redirect to 305, and that's a strikeout for Figueroa. His 2nd strikeout. Here's Bill North. 293, and that's going to be a deep drive as well. This one to right field, but his power is a 0. So we're checking the deep drive to right field. 0 power. And that is an 11. So the 11 is going to be a double. It'll be a double for Bill North on the deep drive. And that'll bring up Yeager. Hello, Phoenix. Didn't see you come in. And Joel, if I missed you. .101, redirect to 301, which is a strikeout. 2 down for Davey Lopes. That's a 667. 667 is going to be a 3-1 ground out. So ground out to Chambliss, who throws to Tidrow covering. Another run for the Dodgers. They've scored in every inning except for the 2nd and the 3rd. So death by 1,000 paper cuts, as they say. And now Rick Rhoden will take over for the Dodgers after Tommy John went 7 solid. 9-1 game. Rick Rhoden will be in to pitch. Here's Munson. 652 becomes 662, but that's going to be a 6-3 ground out. That'll be 1 away. Reggie, who struck out all 3 times against Tommy John, probably glad to not see him in the game anymore. 564, that's for Bill Russell, but I don't think the blue 4 is going to be a problem. 564 is a 6-3 ground out. So Reggie 0 for 4, so he's not able to get on base to get hit in the hip in this one. So no worries there. 564, same result. We just had it. It's a ground ball to short. So 3 straight ground balls to short will end the inning very abruptly for the Yankees. We go to the 9th, 9-1 Yankees. And they will go ahead and let Tidrow finish out and save the rest of their bullpen for game 5 because Jim Beattie is the starter, so they may need bullpen help. Although in real life, Beattie pitched a complete game victory, so we'll see what happens. Bill Russell will lead it off. 272 against a right-hander, and that's going to be a fly to right field rather, for out number 1. Brings up Reggie Smith. 215, and that's going to be a 4-3 ground out, 2 away. So unfortunately, fellas, not a close game in this one, but you can't always get a close game. Here's Garvey. 175, and that's going to be a wild pitch, ball 1. Nobody's on base. Try it again. 159, and that's going to be a base on balls. So the walk issued. Second walk now issued by Figueroa. He struck out 3 and walked 2. And now the Penguin, Ron Say, is up. 190, and that is a bloop single. And with 2 outs, that's a 2-base advancement. Garvey goes to third. Seemed to hit these numbers a lot for whatever reason. Here's Baker. He homered his last time up. He's 4 for 5. 3 singles, a home run. 4 for 5 in this game. 597. Now he might be more than that because that blue 7 is going to be trouble for the right fielder, Lou Piniella, who is using his ratings-based defense because he is rated for left field and he's playing right field. His range and arm are 5, but the blue die is a 7, so it's greater than that. So it's going to be a double. And again, a double with the run on first able to challenge if they would like to challenge, but I'm not sure in this day and age whether you want to challenge that. It's going to be a double, but Ron Say is not going to challenge the plate. He will just stop at third base. And Dusty Baker, 5 out of 6 for Dusty Baker in this game. Amazing. 5 out of 6. I think he gets the player of the game. What do you think? 5 out of 6 with a home run and a couple of runs batted in. Several runs batted in. Here is Rick Monday now with the score now 11-2, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check this. 3-5. Or is it 10-2? 10-2, it looks like. 10-2. 10-1, rather. 10-1 is the score. Tidrow, 387. And that is a strikeout to end the inning. But again, another single run. They just get a run every inning, it seemed like the Dodgers were scoring. And they lead it 10-1. So, rough outing for the Yankees for sure. Rick Rhoden will come in and mop things up. Finish the numbers on Tidrow while we can. He went 3 innings. He just saved the bullpen is all he really did, which was still a feat in itself. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He gave up 3 runs in those 3 innings. And how many hits did he give up? He get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got him giving up 10 hits in 3 innings. So I've got the Dodgers for 21 hits in this game. 10 runs and 21 hits. I'll count them again to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, I've got them for 17, so I'm way off on the hits. Something didn't add up right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 hits here, so why am I off on that? Oh, you know what? I counted this here. That's what the problem was. Counted that. So he really only walked I was giving Clay and Tidrow. I got those confused. Tidrow only had these 3 innings. Let me recalculate Tidrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits he gave up. 3 runs and 7 hits. 1 walk, because that walk up there was really Clay's, and he only struck out 2. I'm sorry, no, he did strike out 3 right here. Okay, so 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. So 7. So I've got him for 18 hits now. 10 runs and 18 hits for the Dodgers. I don't believe there are any errors in the game as far as I can tell. I don't see any errors. I thought Russell had 1 error. So 10, 18, and 1 for the Dodgers. All right, so last chance, but that's not really a chance, so to speak. Not really a chance, but you got to call it that anyway. Nettles, Chambliss, and a pinch hitter for Stanley. 449, and that's a right-hander. 449 is going to be a single for Nettles. So he will single to lead off the bottom of the 9th. Here's Chambliss. 247 for Chambliss against the Roden, the lefty. 247 is a redirect to a 547. That could be trouble for Lopes. 547 is going to be a single to right field. So, of course, you could challenge, but down 10-1, that wouldn't be very smart. So they'll just play station to station. And now we'll get a pinch hitter for Fred Stanley. And it will be, I believe it will be Gary Thomason. Will pinch hit for Stanley. Thomason, the pinch hitter here in the 9th for Stanley. 551. That's the third baseman say, and with that blue 1, it looks like it's got a double play written all over it. 551. It is a double play. 5-4-3 around the horn. Double play. 2 quick outs. Nettles does take third. Now there are 2 outs. Down to the final out, and it's Bucky Dent. Bucky Dent. But actually, Bucky Dent won't hit. They'll bring in another pinch hitter. Doesn't matter because there's not going to be a top of the 10th, so you don't have to worry about defense. They will bring in Jay Johnstone to pinch hit for Bucky Dent. And there's no way in hell we're going to the 10th. So I'm not even worried about who's going to play shortstop because they don't need anybody to play shortstop. If they need somebody to play shortstop, I'll tell you what, if they score 9 runs now, I'll put Johnstone in at short and not worry about it. All right, here's Johnstone. 563. That's a good play for Russell. It should do it. 563 is a 6-3 ground out, and there's your ball game. Dodgers win it easily, 10-1 over the Yankees. Rick Roden pitches the final 2 innings, gives up 2 hits, so the Yankees limited to 7 hits, no runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. So the Dodgers out-hit the Yankees 18-7, and make no doubt about it, they dominated this game from the start. 2 runs in the first inning, and they never looked back after that. So Game 4 in the books. Dodgers now lead the series 3-1. They can finish it off tomorrow night. And game number 5, I've already got the score sheet ready for game number 5. It is going to be Bert Hooton against Jim Beattie. So Yankees backs against the wall, trying to force a game 6 and send it back to L.A. But game 4 in the books, and it belongs to the Dodgers without any question about it. They dominate. And 10-18-1 for the Dodgers, 1-7-0 for the Yankees. Winning pitcher Tommy John, losing pitcher Ed Figueroa, no save because of the score. So we could have had Roden come in the 7th inning and pitch 3 innings to get a save, but that would be kind of cheap. So that's going to do it from here. Like I said, unfortunately, not a close game that I hoped it would be, but sometimes Mama said there'd be days like this. Now, Dick Tidrow will be unavailable in Game 5 because he just pitched 3 innings, so he's going to have to rest. And we'll probably rest Rick Rhoden in Game 5 too, but the Dodgers have so many other pitchers. This is the first time Rhoden even appeared. They got plenty of other arms that are going to be nice and fresh. Good thing for the Yankees is that Gossage and the lefty Sparky Lyle will be fresh for Game 5 as well. So I do appreciate those of you who stopped by on this Saturday afternoon to watch. For those that are watching later, appreciate your viewing this as well. Just wish we could have given you a closer game, but as they say, Dice had other ideas. So let's go do it from here. Hope you all have a pleasant Saturday. Hope your weekend is going well. If you're a college football fan, you should be in hog heaven on this Saturday afternoon. Lots of good college football matchups around the country. But until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.